When you understand personality preferences, you can more readily appreciate the differences between you and the people who are closest to you, such as your spouses, maybe your partner, your children, your friends, even other family members. And in most areas of life, when differences between you and someone else are bothersome or frustrating, you can actually avoid them in some kind of way. But what if that person is your best friend? Or maybe that person's a loved one, a family member, or even your spouse. You'd have to do a lot or lose a lot to walk away from it. So knowledge of personality type allows us to see the differences as those, just as being different, not right or wrong, we're just all different. So instead of labeling someone or putting value judgments on their behavior, you can start to see that behavior reflects their personality type or their preference. And it's not really designed to offend you or frustrate you or make you angry. Many couples can learn to appreciate the differences and even can see them through a humorous light. ESFJ is very supportive and nurturing. They're also very reliable, which goes along with that judging part of their personality preferences. Now, they concern themselves with providing very practical support to their partners, and they also are going to want traditional standards and really traditional ideals, traditional values, even traditional role models. They want an organized life. Again, that goes along with that judging preference. And they want their partners to be structured and scheduled as well. Now, they really are very strict about sticking with their moral code, and they want a partner who's going to agree with them with their values, and especially on issues of what's right and wrong and what people should and should not do. They're very conscientious, and they want others to be conscientious as well. Now, remember that they are responsible people. Because they're very responsible, they expect that same kind of responsibility from others. They immensely dislike conflict, and they're going to be motivated to resolve it very quickly. So it means that they need that harmonious situation and a harmonious environment. Now, harmony goes along with the feeling preference within their personality type. Now, they want stable, harmonious relationships, and they want them to be loving and committed, even when they have strong emotional reactions to something. They're going to appreciate a partner who notices their efforts, that is going to appreciate that they have provided for their families and that they've done a good job. This personality type is very warm-hearted, and they value their close personal relationships, meaning that the relationships with their family and their friends are most important to them. They tend to be very service-oriented, and their own happiness is going to be linked to the happiness of those that are closest to them and the comfort of those who are closest to them. Now remember that they are most valued for their warm nature, that they care for others, and their special ability to really bring out the best in others. Now, they don't handle conflict well, as we've already discussed. Because of that, there are times where their personality type seems almost as if they are being very controlling or manipulative. But don't forget that despite this weakness, the relationship really is the central of their lives, and everything that they do, their energy and their expectations and the way that they share and give, all of that is to develop and maintain those interpersonal relationships. Now, on the flip side, they expect that same result and the same input from others. Their strengths are that they put forth a lot of effort. They're going to fulfill their duties and they're responsible. They are going to take their obligations with great seriousness. They tend to be very friendly and they're warm and they're very affirming. They're service-oriented. They want to please others. They take commitments very, very seriously, and they're going to be committed for a lifelong relationship. They're responsible, they're practical, and they're going to be upbeat and very positive. They tend to be popular. People are very drawn to this personality type. They also tend to be good money managers, and they're traditionally minded, meaning that they're family oriented, and they're also going to really enjoy and prefer those traditional family roles. On the weaknesses side, they generally are uncomfortable with any kind of change, and that goes along with their judging preference. They have an extreme dislike of conflict and criticism, going with that feeling part of their preference, and they need positive affirmation. And if they don't get that positive affirmation, they're not going to feel very good about themselves. They are status conscious at times, and they have a difficult time accepting the end of anything. And if there is an end of a relationship, an end of a situation, an end of something that is ended negatively, they're going to take the blame for it, and they're going to put it upon their own shoulders. They're going to avoid their own needs. This means that they tend to be extremely self-sacrificing, and their partner is going to need to step in and make sure that their needs are cared for. And at times, they may actually even use guilt to manipulate others in order to get what they want. Within their marriage and their close relationships with their spouse or their significant others, they're going to give a lot of care and attention to that intimate relationship. They tend to be very traditional, and they take those commitments seriously. So once they have committed to someone or relationship, they're going to put every effort in there to make sure that that relationship is successful. They want to be appreciative and appreciated for who they are, but on the flip side, they're going to appreciate those that are around them. They are also very, very comfortable with other people, but this also means that at times they may actually go fishing or really dive in, attempting to get affirmations from others, especially if it's not given to them freely. Now remember that feeling side that they don't like conflict or criticism. So when they are getting to be a little difficult, don't conflict them. Don't approach them in a critical manner. Instead, use positive reinforcement with them. Now, make sure that you always give them that positive affirmation, because if you use any negative feedback or negative affirmation, what's going to happen, the negative feedback, is they're going to be very depressed and they're going to become very down on themselves. When it comes to intimacy in that physical relationship, they're warm and they're loving, and they love intimacy and the physical opportunity to express their affections. And they want also to give a lot of love to their partners. They're highly scheduled, though, and very traditional. And this means that sometimes they become overwhelmed by increasing their awareness of options and opportunities to serve and care for their loved one. Remember, that falls into the part where they really want to be service-oriented and keeping their partners happy. Remember, they're also highly practical, which means that they want to be responsible of taking care of those day-to-day responsibilities and the needs. So be sure to share those with the ESFJ. Give them the opportunity and help them to really be part and to control that piece of their lives. They love security, peace, and they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that they meet these goals. They also need to belong. They need this. It's a very deep, innate need to belong. So that means that they also may at times, in order to belong, are going to be very social and throw parties and attend parties and try to be the center of any kind of social situation. The kindred souls for the ESFJ are the ISFP, INFP, ISFJ, ESTJ, and the ESFP. So let's look at why we have chosen those kindred souls. So our natural attraction to people who share our dominant function, but who use it in different directions, works very well for us. We not only flip-flop that introverted or extroverted trait, but we're also going to flip-flop the judging and perceiving trait. So in this way, the partner that we choose for ourselves is going to have a very different approach to dealing with the external world. But if we're laid back and indecisive, then generally our partner is going to be structured and decisive. And if we're reserved, our partner is going to be outgoing. For all of our apparent differences, though, we do still have a common vision of what's really important in life, and that creates the foundation between these kindred souls. Although we really believe that this model is going to work well in finding and maintaining healthy relationships, it's important to remember that it's only a guideline. Just a guideline to help understand and to give some tools and some ideas of things that value in a relationship. but they're not meant to be followed strictly. So remember that any two well-developed individuals of any type can make a relationship work. And work is the key problem here and the key concept, because there's no such thing as an effortless relationship. So don't use these ideas as an excuse to really dump your relationship.